Hello everyone, this is Pet Crochets. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be crocheting this very trendy asymmetrical off-shoulder top. I've seen many variations of this style of top on social media and it really inspired me to recreate that general shape. If you like my crochet content and tutorials, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. I have many more tutorials and crochet videos on the way very soon, so stay tuned. For this top, I'm using a weight 3 bamboo yarn. I like the way that the bamboo yarn drapes for this style of top, and also it was perfect for summertime because it's breathable and very silky. We're just going to be using half double crochet stitches and of course single crochet and slip stitches just to seam up the sides, but it's a fairly simple top. As you notice here, I didn't really clean up any of the edges. I kind of left it a little bit more rough. And then for the end, I just added a flower detail to the shoulder, which is of course completely optional. We're going to be making two identical panels, the front panel and the back panel, and then seaming up the sides and the portion for the shoulders. So again, it's a very straightforward and simple project, but the outcome is just beautiful. I love the shape of this top. I feel like it pairs really well with jeans or a long skirt. It's very elegant, but can be dressed up or down depending on how you style it. I'm also thinking of creating a long sleeve version of this top, so it would be more of an asymmetrical neckline with long sleeves. If that's something you guys would be interested in, leave a comment down below. I have a list of things that I want to crochet for the fall and the winter time, but let me know if that's something you'd be interested in. I wore this top with a strapless bra. You can also use a nude sticky bra. However, if you don't want it to be so open, I recommend using a smaller size hook and a thicker yarn, just so those gaps or those holes are a little bit tighter. If you want to, you could also sew in a liner. Since it was summertime, I wore it just as is with a strapless bra and it was perfect. Anyway, let's get started with the tutorial. This is the Truboo Bamboo yarn that I'm going to be using. If you follow me on Instagram, I joke around a lot about how hard it is to work with this specific yarn, but the drape is just so beautiful and so silky and soft that it makes a perfect yarn for summertime clothing wear. I used around 125 grams of this yarn, and I'm also grabbing my 3.5mm hook. Let's take a look at some of the measurements we're going to need. So measurement 1, we're going to need the total length of the top. So you want to take the tape measure from around the top of your shoulder down to where you want the top to end. For measurement 2, we want to determine how wide we want that shoulder strap portion to be. I did around, I believe, 1.5 to 2 inches, but you can just measure up how wide you want that portion to be. For measurement 3, you're going to need your bust circumference, so take the measure, put it over your nipples or the widest part of your bust and take your measurement. We're going to divide this by 2 because we're making 2 panels. And then for the final measurement, you're going to want to determine how long you need to make that off-shoulder strap portion to be. To get that measurement, I put my left side of my arm down by my side and I took the tape measure and ran it from the side of my breast over my arm to the back side of my body and just divided that measurement in half, again because we're making 2 panels. And if you look at the bottom of the page, I have an optional section. I added this into the tutorial as well, of adding some extra rows on the side of your top in case you need a little bit more space for the armpit area, or you just need some extra rows on the sides of the top and the front and the back panels are just not enough. So that will be coming in the tutorial as well. To start off, I'm going to make half double crochet foundation stitches to the first measurement, or the measurement from the top of your shoulder down to your desired length. Of course, if you don't want to do the foundation or the chainless half double crochet foundation stitch, you can also just make a chain, go back down and do half double crochet stitches. And then once again, if you find that half double crochet stitches are too holey or too open for you, you can certainly do single crochet as well. So here I'm just making my half double crochet foundation stitches, and I'm also going to be linking the tutorial for how to do these chainless foundation stitches. I like doing it this way because it saves time and I don't have to do the chain first and then do the half double crochet. It kind of just consolidates that process. So this is what I have. Now I'm going to chain up 2 and turn my work. And for this row, we're going to half double crochet into every single stitch. We're now working on measurement 2, or the shoulder width portion. So you're just going to basically make half double crochet rows until this is as long or as wide as you'd like it to be for your shoulder area. So just continue making half double crochet rows. I stopped at around 2.5 inches, however you can add as many rows as necessary. Now we're going to start doing our decreases for the front portion of the top. So we're going to chain up 2 and turn our work. To do a decrease, we're going to yarn over and place our hook into the very first stitch and pull up a loop, and then place our hook into the very next stitch and pull up another loop. Now we have 4 loops on our hook. Yarn over and pull through all 4 loops on your hook. So we're basically half double crocheting 2 stitches together. Once you finish your decrease, you're just going to half double crochet all the way down to the end of the row, and we're only decreasing on one end. So here I've reached the end of my top and I'm not doing a decrease. I'm going to leave it as is. So I'm going to chain 2, turn, and then half double crochet into every single stitch until I reach the last 2 stitches of the row, or we're back to the top of our piece. So I made it down. These are the last 2 stitches at the top. This is where we did the decrease previously. To do a decrease, yarn over, go into the next stitch, pull up a loop, and then go into the very next stitch after that and pull up another loop. You have 4 loops on your hook. Now you can finish the half double crochet by yarning over and pulling through all 4 loops on your hook. So again, we're half double crocheting 2 stitches together. Now chain 2 and turn your work, and then you're just going to continue doing these decrease rows. So again, I'm decreasing at the beginning of this row by half double crocheting 2 stitches together, half double crocheting all the way down, and we're not doing any decreases at the bottom of the top, so you're going to chain 2, turn, and you're going to half double crochet down to the last 2 stitches and then decrease. You're going to want to stop when this panel reaches around the midline of your body. We've been decreasing every single row, so at the row end and the row beginning, and this creates a more dramatic angle as it's going downwards. Now I want it to be a little bit less dramatic so it's not going straight down, and I'm going to start decreasing every other row. So instead of decreasing at the end of the row, I'm actually going to half double crochet into every single stitch, as you see here. So previously we were half double crocheting those last 2 stitches together. Now we're just placing a half double crochet into every single stitch, and once we reach the end, chain 2, and here's where I'm going to do the decrease. So I'm going to decrease at the beginning of the row. So once again, the only time we do the decrease is when we reach the top of our piece, chain 2 and turn to go back down towards the bottom. That's when we do the decrease, which means we'll be decreasing every other row. So repeat these every other row decreases or decreasing at the beginning of the row only until this panel reaches the other side of your body. From here, we'll be ready to start the arm portion. So I'll show you what this looks like measured up against my body, just so you get an idea of how many rows I did. You also want to make sure that you take note of when you start doing those every other row decreases, how wide you make the shoulder panel, so on and so forth, because we're going to be creating 2 identical panels. Here's what the panel looks like measured up against my body right now. So we have the 2 sides of the top on the sides of my body, and as you can see, that shorter end now reaches my armpit area where I can start doing that arm band or that short sleeve portion. We're now going to be working on that shorter end. Again, that's where that arm sleeve portion is going to be, and you're going to determine how wide you want this portion to be. I decrease both ends, so it's a gradual decline on both sides until it reaches my desired armband width. However, if you wanted to, you could also just crochet a straight rectangle. I feel like it looks nicer if it's more gradual. So to begin, I'm going to start off just how we've been doing by beginning with a decrease at the beginning of this row. Again, this is the top of our piece. Remember, we're only decreasing on one end, and we're now just going to half double crochet until we reach our desired width. So I'm going to half double crochet down, And I want my arm sleeve to begin with this width. Again, I'm going to keep decreasing both ends so it's a little bit thinner. And now I'm going to chain up 2 and turn my work. I'm going to decrease right here at the beginning of the row. And this is the pattern you're just going to keep repeating until this arm width is your desired width. So you're going to half double crochet all the way down and then decrease at the beginning of the row only. So chain 2, turn, half double crochet the first 2 stitches together. Again, we're only decreasing at the beginning of the rows. Keep doing these decreased rows until this is your desired width. I kept going until this portion reached around 2 inches. Then now you're just going to add regular, no decrease, just regular half double crochet rows until this is long enough that it reaches the side of your arm. You want to make sure that you don't make this portion too long because we're making the identical panel, and when you connect the 2 panels, if this side is too long, it might slouch down. Unless that's a look that you're going for, then add more rows. Once you're finished, you can chain up 1, cut, and pull the yarn through to secure. And then from here, you're repeating the same exact steps. This is why it's so important to take note of everything you did. You're going to repeat the same exact steps for a second identical panel. So here is my first panel, and then I have my second panel all completed as well. And now we're going to work on this optional portion. So if you feel like this top is not going to give you enough coverage, or you just need some extra rows for under your armpit area, I also added this portion in. To start off, we're going to mark off this is the long side of the top. We're going to mark off the armhole opening area. So you want to figure out how far down you want to go. I made sure to go around 1 inch under my armpit so there's enough space to move my arm around. So we marked off that stitch. You're going to go to the bottom of your top and pull a slip knot through that very last stitch, chain 2 and turn. You're going to half double crochet down to the stitch before that stitch marker that you placed. Remember, this is the long side of the top. So we're going to stop at the stitch before the stitch marker. I made it to the stitch marker, I'm taking it out. I'm going to half double crochet those last 2 stitches together. So we're decreasing at the end of this row. Now we're going to chain up 2 and turn our work. And we're just going to decrease 1 more time by half double crocheting those first 2 stitches together. And then half double crochet all the way down to the bottom of your top. You can repeat as many rows as necessary until this side portion reaches the side of your body. Once again, don't forget that we're creating 2 panels, so you don't want to make this portion too long or it risks the top being a little bit too baggy. So just keep that in mind that you're doing half because we're doing the other panel as well. Then you're just going to repeat the same steps for the other panel and then for the other side of the top as well. So I went about 1 inch to 1.5 inches below that arm band or that arm width, and you're going to repeat those same exact steps. We're going to now start seaming our top, so you want to make sure that your top is inside out or wrong side up, and we're going to align our 2 panels, so make sure they're nice and aligned. Now I'm going to find the corner stitch on both panels and put my hook through, and then pull a slip knot through both panels of both stitches. From here I'm going to chain up 1, and now I'm just going to go through the stitches and do a single crochet. So I'm single crocheting all the way down this side. So once again, you're going to place your hook through both panels, through both stitches, and then do a single crochet. And that will seam up this side. Once you reach the end, you can just chain up 1, cut the yarn and pull it through to secure, and that will seam up the arm band side. And then you're going to repeat the same steps for the top shoulder portion of this as well. So as you can see, you're going to stop right before you start sloping down or before those decreases start. You can also measure it, so if you remember, mine was around 2 inches, and that's where I'm going to stop the seaming. We're now going to seam up the sides. If you added those optional side portions, you're just going to align the 2 panels and seam up that edge. If you didn't add a side panel like me, you're going to start at the bottom of the top, and like we did with the arm band, we're going to single crochet down, until we're around 1/2 inch to 1 inch under this armband opening so that we have space for our arm itself. Personally, my arm is very thin, so I only need about 1/2 inch to 1 inch of space. However, if you need to figure out how much space you need, you could try on the top at this point and use a stitch marker to mark off where you need to stop the seaming so that there's enough clearance for your arm. Now you're going to do the same thing for the other side as well. So you're just going to seam up until you're around 1/2 inch to 1 inch under your armpit, or however much space you need for your arm to get in. And now this is optional, but you can add a flower with some tendrils like I did. For the flower, this is the same exact tutorial I did for the rose choker necklace. I'll be linking that below. For the tendrils, it's the same tendrils as I did in my one shoulder top. I'll be linking that below as well. Now all we have left to do is weave in all the ends, and this is what our final product looks like. This is the Trendy asymmetrical off-shoulder top. Although we're just using half double crochets and it's a fairly simple pattern, I feel that the drape and the shape of the top itself makes up for a lot of that. That's why I kind of left those edges raw, but you can also add scallops if you'd like, or add a row of single crochet to the bottom or the neckline portion of the top. I feel that this top is just so beautiful and it's elegant yet simple, and it can be dressed up or down, so it's a very versatile and easy top to wear. I also plan on exploring more of the asymmetrical neckline and hemline of different tops and sweaters, so that's definitely coming in the near future as well. If you like this pattern or if you decide to try it out, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to send me a picture or if you just need a little bit of help, you can also reach out to me on my Instagram at petpetcrochets, same way it's spelled here. If you like this tutorial, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and like the video and leave a comment. As always, thank you guys for following my crochet journey, and I'll see you in the next tutorial. Bye everyone!